So I'm on a bit of a post-apocalyptic kick at the moment, or to be more precise, I'm really not on a post-apocalyptic kick. I love these kinds of movies. These kinds of movies really are one of my favourite genres. The cheaper the better. And this one was quite cheap, shot on a meagre budget of only $150,000 by auteur filmmaker Steve Barkett. So Aftermath starts out a bit like Planet of the Apes, with two astronauts played by writer, producer, director, leading man, jack of all trades, Steve Barkett, and his mate returning to Earth after some time out of contact in outer space. And upon splashing down, they find that the Earth, or more specifically the west coast of LA, has been devastated by nuclear war. So we see desiccated sunbathing corpses on the beach. They look a bit like desiccated coconut, subhuman mutant cannibals, and worst of all, there's a roving gang of hoodlums led by none other than Sid Haig, best remembered as Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Incidentally, Sid Haig's character in this one is called Cutter, so apparently Rob Zombie was also a fan of Aftermath. We also get a cameo from famous Monsters of Filmland founder Forrest J. Ackerman as a museum curator. And Aftermath starts out like Planet of the Apes, and then it eases into a post-apocalyptic formula, and then the third act plays out a bit like Charles Bronson's Death Wish, so there's something for everyone. It's a Neapolitan plot structure, to say the least. 3 different flavours, 1 taste sensation. So the Aftermath is a largely forgotten post-apocalyptic oddity. Tonally, it's pretty dark and was actually part of the UK's video nasty list, which I didn't expect. And presumably this one was banned in Queensland as well. So the Aftermath was curiously also known as Zombie Aftermath, a misleading title because nary a zombie have seen, none in fact. And this is one of those quirky little epics made by a real auteur filmmaker, like Duke Mitchell's Massacre Mafia style or Charles B. Pierce's Legend of Boggy Creek. And I always love the enthusiasm that emanates from these kinds of low-budget auteur movies that often blur the line between art and vanity project. And the Aftermath certainly does qualify as a vanity project, to say the least. All the hallmarks of a vanity project are here. The writer is the producer, director and leading man, of course, which is always a given. And there's a love interest half his age, which is always a given. And there's long-winded monologues and self-indulgent philosophical pontificating from our hero Steve Barkett. So all the signs are there of a classic vanity project. And of course there's an enormous emphasis on his physical, fighting and lovemaking prowess, of course. Something else that you need. Steven Seagal, Tommy Wiseau and Neil Breen would be proud of our auteur behind the Aftermath. But even though the Aftermath is undoubtedly a shameless vanity project, that doesn't mean that it's not entertaining or worth your time. It's a fun little post-apocalyptic oddity, to say the least. Some of the special effects are a bit primitive, they're a bit rudimentary, yet surprisingly they're effective nonetheless. I reckon the creepy sunbathing corpses on the beach, for example, are pretty effective, and they were just made of clay and paper mache. But nevertheless, they are still pretty effective. And this one also has some pretty cool miniatures and rear projection effects. Apparently Roger Corman helped the director with these because he felt the movie needed a little more oomph prior to release. And the Aftermath is a bit of a grab bag of cannibals, roving gangs, visual effects, and even inexplicably throws in a ray gun for good measure, which makes no sense, but it's fun nonetheless. And like all post-apocalyptic movies, good or bad, the social commentary here is pretty primal, pretty barbaric. Basically, it teaches us that violence is always necessary in these post-apocalyptic locales. If there's a pacifist post-apocalyptic movie out there, I must confess I'm yet to see it. Still waiting. This would make a fun double bill with Night of the Comet, I reckon. Just for that fun, irradiated San Fernando Valley forged vibe. And something nice to enjoy while watching this one might be a nice chili dog, just like the ones they serve at Dodger Stadium, and a nice cold Modelo beer. So that, my friends, is Aftermath from 1982. Cool little zero-budget vanity project post-nuke. One of the lesser-known post-nukes out there. It's not Italian, it's American-made, so it does have that different vibe, but it has that cool California irradiated vibe. and it's all sun and fun, like Night of the Comet, for example, and well worth your time if you check it out. A little bit difficult to find, but I'll try and find a link to the film in the comments or in the description, and I'll try and find a link to the trailer in the description, any other Easter eggs that I can find. Hope you've enjoyed this review. If you are enjoying these reviews here on Fulci Metal Jacket, by all means, please like, share and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.